Welcome back to the Tees Valley Summit, Business Summit 2019. I'm Graham Robb from Recognition PR, and throughout the course of the day, we've been broadcasting live on different social media channels, the Combined Authority, Tees Valley Combined Authority Facebook page and others, and talking to people who are in business here in the Tees Valley and advising businesses here in the Tees Valley. Got two people who are very well-known figures in the business community. Dominic Lusardi from Animersion, David Cliff from Gedanken. Dominic, are you exhibiting today?
Hi Graham, yes, we're working with Logic Architecture. We've been developing a joint project recently around Boho 10, and so we've got some holograms displaying the work that we've been doing as a joint collaboration.
Now, your business has been a fantastic success story, a bit of a poster boy for Tees Valley's economy, really.
Thank you.
Remind everyone what it does.
So we're an immersive solutions company. Really, we take digital technologies and apply them in non-traditional spaces in our world. So the industrial engineering sector, how companies can make economic gains from the application of immersive technologies.
Now, I love the explanation. It's very technical. I'm going to try and explain it another way because I've seen it. I got the chance to put a virtual reality headset on, and then I was on top of a wind turbine in the North Sea, and it felt a bit wobbly. But I can imagine if I was someone servicing a wind turbine on the North Sea, it'd be better to have a headset on than actually go out there and fall off.
Absolutely. Well, it turns out one of the problems with offshore is that people actually freak out quite heavily when they get on top of a turbine. So virtual reality is the perfect context for delivering that kind of training in it as well.
And so, do you work up the actual software and the actual animations of everything as well?
Yeah. So where we've tried to differentiate ourselves is actually bringing that together. So we're providing the kind of creative solutions, but also the technical hardware and how that makes an economic impact within the organisation. So it's not just tech for tech's sake; it's how tech is going to make an impact within the organisation as well. So that kind of holistic approach.
Give us an example of one of the recent clients you've been working with and how it's taken their service forward.
So, Unipress is a really good example of the guys that we worked up in Sunderland, where they've got a 24-hour production. How do you train somebody to use one of their cranes when it's always in use? Well, a virtual reality scene is one of the most safest ways to put somebody in the environment, go through the crane training environment, but also test the learning criteria that they already had in place. It gives them a scalable training solution that they now do as part of their curriculum when bringing anybody new into the organisation.
Now, obviously, it's an innovative sector of the economy. It's non-traditional. It's becoming more traditional to, of course, have a digital-based business, but it isn't as simple for everybody to understand as someone with a technical background like yourself. How have you managed to grow your business? What kind of partnerships have you developed in terms of finance and support?
Well, through the links that we've had with the university, the Combined Authority and the council, the support that they put into growing the digital cluster when we first established 13 years ago was vital to seeing the business growing the way it did. But also the surrounding industries, we specifically set ourselves up here because of the local economy, the different industries that are available to us, and seeing how that's developed and creating alignment with ourselves as an organisation, not because we're digital, but because we're a functional business that makes economical impact based on what they're doing to deliver their services as well. So through that business alignment and understanding actually, just because we're digital doesn't mean we're different. Business is business, and we need to operate ourselves like a business, and that's how we've tried to distinguish ourselves over the years.
And how is business? What would you say the economy is like here, and your order book and so on? Is it going well?
It's interesting. It fits and starts at the moment. You could do without the B word. That's probably one of the biggest problems for us. But the opportunity's there, and that's what's great about it, is that everybody is now beginning to realise actually this is on the doorstep. The opportunity for digital transformation and the new opportunities of the South Tees Development Corporation, linking in the fusing of the industries together. The opportunities are absolutely fantastic right in front of us right now.
David from Gedanken, you've been in the business environment now for many years, and I've got to say, I know of many people like Dominic, not Dominic himself, who you've supported and helped grow their business. There's quite a legacy of businesses that are in business today with good staff because of the work you've done. What kind of work do you do in your coaching and mentoring?
Well, basically, we look at what the nature of ambition is, because certainly in the Northeast region, we've got a situation where people have quite modest ambitions, and yet they have great ideas and great talents that can be taken forward if that's facilitated properly. So the first thing is, what is your goal? What is the scope of what you want to achieve? Only this morning I had somebody ring me who wants to grow their business. I want to scale up. Okay, so what does that mean in real terms in your business, in your industry? And actually for you, what leadership roles are you prepared to take on? How are you prepared to structure your organization? What are the logical steps? And how much market testing have you done to actually realize that against the real market environment that's out there?
Now, you go into businesses and stand as almost a non-executive director in some ways, but a consultant that listens to everything you've just said, but then provides advice. Is it easy to persuade people who have fixed views on what their businesses are to perhaps listen to an outsider and to be challenged?
The biggest issue in business is our own subjectivity. A lot of people build businesses because they were very good at doing something, either as a skilled artisan or a consultant. And to scale up and to actually then not do that yourself, but lead and manage a group of staff and structure your organization in a way that puts it front-facing to the market, it is quite a different skill shift, and something that people don't easily get weaned off from their original role. So a lot of the work I do is about looking at leadership identity, looking at shifting from that old classic conundrum of working in the business to working on the business, and actually what that means for each individual company.
Have you had to face that conundrum, Dominic, working in, not on, or on, not in?
Yeah, a constant challenge in our industry is one of the ones that I'm always sucked back into. When you're deeply technical in an industry, when you know about it, you end up being the person that actually ends up being involved by the clients because they want to see your presence in there, which doesn't allow for the opportunity to grow the business outside of it as well.
Finally, David, you're in the general business environment through your own client base and your own business activities. How do you see it at the moment? What's your view on where the economy here is?
Well, we do have the B word, although whether that's Brexit or Boris these days, I'm not quite sure which. We do have, I think fits and starts is a pretty good definition. Some people are doing extraordinarily well. There are some sectors that are struggling, and there's the perennial things that go on, which are seasonality and whatever. Certainly my business takes a little bit of a slump in July because most of my prospective clients are on holiday anyway. So there's seasonality, there's sectors, and I go back to there's ambition.
Yeah, and I think some of the more basic things are being tackled. It does appear there is you can get money if you need money to run a business at the moment. So that was a big problem 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
You can find customers quite often. The issues tend to be skills, and there's a tiny bit of confidence maybe with Brexit, but perhaps those of us who've had businesses for a long time just realise you can't do anything about it, so you might as well get on with it.
Well, the skills situation is always about being good with recruitment. When I find companies have difficulty with skills acquisition, they tend to neglect their recruitment processes, so they make do and mend with their candidacy, which is often a problem, where they appoint somebody to fill a need in the organization, then 3 months down the line, they find the fit's not right. So I certainly think there is an important element of companies thinking about the value of good recruitment support, and if they're not good at it themselves and they're not prepared to invest the time into themselves, then there are, the actual charges by recruitment companies, good ones, can actually make a huge difference in the long term. So recruitment is really important over and above the skills issue.
Well, David, Dominic, thank you for joining us, and may you have a great business year. Thank you.
Thank you, Graham.